quick breakdown. Obviously, I just, I'm super grateful and honored to be on here. I know a lot of your leaders here, and I've been watching. I've been watching this team personally because I have two close friends on this team. And Glenn reached out and asked me to do a training, and I was like, yes, absolutely. I absolutely love Glenn. I love Carly. I've been in this industry for about 15 years. Okay, so Glenn wants me to talk about belief tonight, and I think it's so funny. He was talking about Bravenly, and you guys have an incredible team. And I don't need to sell you the belief in the product of the company. Like that's not why I'm here. And a lot of the times, being a veteran, now I came in as the baby of the industry. Now I'm the veteran of the industry. And what I know is we go through times, no matter how good our products are, no matter how amazing the team and the communities are and the culture, we can lose belief in ourselves. Okay. And that's something I want to hit on, because I will tell you, and I always joke around, if there was a mistake to be had in this industry, I've made it. And so I come with you with a lot of experience, and a lot of your leaders have too. I've had close conversations with some of your top leaders. I know that there has been times of up and times of down. And when I was younger, I thought, oh, that'll never be me. I'll never have that moment. It's always going to be good and sunshine and rainbows, right? But life will happen. And I'm here to just help you kind of navigate. Hey, what do I do when I'm feeling down, when I lose my confidence, when somebody leaves my team? That may not have happened yet, but we all know what that feels like. Or when you get into drama with people on the team, that we're dealing with humans, guys. It doesn't matter how amazing the culture is. There's always going to be challenges that come at you, and they might not be serious, but as a leader, we have to face those. And so I think the first part about the belief is having confidence in something greater than yourself. Okay. So when you came here, I want to bring you back a little bit. So like I said, I got started in the industry about 15 years ago. And when I got started, guys, and this is a lot of us, I want you to remember where you got started real quick. I want you to think about it while I'm talking. The economy had just tanked. We lost everything. My husband was a professional athlete. We were selling everything. We couldn't even sell it. We ended up $500,000, almost $1 million in debt within a very short amount of time, because his contract got cut. We were paying for lawyers, and we were doing all this shifting, and we just had a baby. I mean, everything that could have happened in a quick second. I was a dental hygienist. Okay. I wasn't in this world. I actually was okay. I was anti-MLM, anti-network marketing. I'm not going to do that. But I was desperate. Okay. And I wasn't looking for a car. I wasn't looking for a big house. I had all that. I was like drowning in it. What I was looking for was $500 a month. And so I challenge you to remember that, because when we're talking to people, especially when we're really in a momentum, you guys are in momentum right now. This is a really fun time for you all. When you're in momentum, we can lose sight of what a lot of people who are coming in, because this is a leadership Zoom, right? These are leaders right here. We have to remember that the most important person is who? The newest person. And we also have to remember that sometimes we are in such a momentum or growth that we can forget that someone is really just looking for $500 a month, because that is where they're at. Their head is not in the same space that we're in. Like we're going, I want to do this. I want to be on stage, whatever your goals are. Might not be that. Maybe you are doing this as a side income. It's becoming your full-time income. Wherever you are, we just always have to remember, where did we start and how is that feeling? And I think when we come to belief, that's where I go when I question myself. I'm like, gosh, I'm not a good leader, or I'm not doing the right things, or I feel like I'm failing. And it'll happen sometimes. It'll creep in. Things will happen. And what I always tell people is just remember to humble yourself and go back to where you started. Because that's not only going to remind you of who you are and go, listen, I always joked, I started from the bottom. That was my joke, like that song from Drake, started from the bottom, now we're here. But truly, we dug ourselves out of debt because of network marketing, because of direct sales. We really did. And a lot of people did. And a lot of people get their start, not because they were super excited to do a side hustle. A lot of the times people are forced into it. And we are in a time where you have an amazing opportunity in this company, and you are able to offer something in a time of great need. Okay. You are in a time of great need, and you have products and communities that support it. So you're very, very blessed. And I want to talk about finding the medium and finding a platform that you're comfortable with. So this is going to be a little bit, we're going to go into a lot of the times when we feel lost or we get like in the noise, it's because we're trying to tap dance in too many places, right? And this can happen as a leader. I mean, I know personally, and Glenn, I know you know this, you get pulled in every direction. Oh, I got to be on TikTok. I got to be here. I got to be on Instagram. I got to do this. And sometimes you're like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I'm just trying to create content and it's not even valuable at this point because I just feel like I have to. And so something I want to challenge you with or think about, because some of you may do this and I'm just throwing it out there, is I know a lot of leaders in our team have come to me like, I am so lost, not because of the company, not because of the systems, but because of the expectations of social media. And we're supposed to do all these things, right? So remember some basic points of what leadership is for you. Culture and community is number one. It doesn't matter what your social media looks like. If you don't have your culture in check and your community in check, if you're not in your team, it won't matter. Okay, so try to remember the basics of going back. So how do I eliminate the noise? The second thing is you got to delete the noise. Okay, I'm not a TikToker. Does that mean I think it's a bad platform? No, it's not my platform. Okay, I can't handle it. I get confused. It's overwhelming. I remove it. So TikTok's not mine, but I have people on our team that blow TikTok up. I don't even know how they're doing it. But at the same time, I'm really good on Facebook, guys. I'm in the generation of Facebook. This is going to be my platform. Facebook, Instagram a little, but I hone in on one and I master it. And I will tell you, I'd rather see you be a master of one thing than try to be the jack of all trades and be half-assed at everything. It's not good. And for a while, we were getting pushed like, you got to be here and you got to be here. I'm going to tell you from an outside leader, no, you don't. You need to focus in one area and stay there where you feel the most confident, connected, and you can understand and not get so lost. But I do think it is wonderful to learn new platforms. Okay. So if you do want to, absolutely. But if you get hung up or frustrated, go back to the main platform that you're fabulous at, that you mastered, and use it. Don't try to spread yourself thin. And because what happens is you end up focusing in these areas so much, you lose that culture and community. And again, culture and community is number one, always, always. And it's easy to sway from that because we're individuals and we're trying to brand ourselves. And I understand that, but we always have to remember the reason we're here is because of a team, not because of our branding. I got to be honest. Branding is so important, but it isn't because of your personal branding. Your team is your team. It's your leadership. So I have to remind myself of this too, because it's very easy in this day and age to get caught up in that. Everyone's a coach. Everyone wants to be a branding coach. There's nothing wrong with coaches, but you can get really lost in that area quickly. And I'm just telling you, you don't have to spend a ton of money to do really well. Your brand is you. Just be you. How you talk, how you look, everything. That's your brand, just to let you know. I always tell leaders that don't get too hung up on that. I see a lot of people spending a lot of money and they don't even have a team. And I'm like, focus on building a team first, then work on your personal brand if you think you need to tweak it. But right now, you're in build mode, guys. You're in build mode. Do your best. Have fun. You have great leaders that can help you with branding. Don't get too caught up in that stuff. So trying to eliminate noise is a huge part of your belief, because when you are frazzled, when you are confused, you lose belief, right, in yourself. And you're looking at your company going, I have a great company. I have great community. I have all these things. Why do I feel like I'm failing? And I can tell you, I'll raise my hand. I have felt like I'm failing. I have one of the larger teams in our company. I've been around for a long time. And there's times where I'm doubting myself and I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing? And it's because I'm seeing all this stuff everywhere. And I feel like, oh, should I be a coach today? Should I do this today? And I'm like, no, go back to what you know. Take a deep breath. Culture and community, number one. One platform. Don't get overwhelmed. You're not going to die if you're not on 5 platforms at the same time. And don't overthink the stuff that doesn't matter. What matters is your team and taking care of them. So now we get to the next part is tools. Okay. So when we are leading, a lot of the times we are like giving. Okay. You're giving as a leader, you're giving. And it's really easy to deplete. It's really easy to go, I feel fried. And I want to keep you feeling enriched. And so self-care is an overused word because sometimes I think people think self-care and they're like, well, I took a bath 5 times a day and I did all these things, right? Because they're so stressed out. And it's like, no, what really, really needs to happen is sometimes you have to shut it down. Okay. And I give you permission as leaders, take a step away when you feel this way. Okay. It is okay. No one will notice. Get an hour or two in there. Affirmations, manifestation. When I say manifestations, it's also imagination. So if you don't like the word manifestation, that's okay. Um, Everyone has different beliefs. Manifestation is more imagination coming to life. What you say, what you see, what you hear every day. So throw up pictures all over, make a vision board. If these are what you like. So some people love vision boards and they love it. They get everything out of it. I have vision boards, but they're not something that makes me feel in a way that I need to. So I do the vision board. I've had it, but for me, it's affirmations and manifestation. I take time to meditate. I shut my eyes for 20 minutes. I shut everything off and I just listen to the fan. Okay. For me, that's self-care because I will reset my mind and I will come back a different version. You cannot give to others if you have nothing left. And you do see that in leadership. And then, you see a lot of times outside of here, this company is newer, but you'll see older leaders where you're like, where did they go? And they fry. And you'll hear their story a year later and you're like, well, there they were. And they say, I fried. I was overdoing everything. And it's like, I want to keep you preserved. Okay. Because there's ways to run this business, be at the top, produce at the top, and still feel great and not deplete yourself. And so affirmations, goals, vision boards, whatever you want, but you have to have somewhat of a tool to go to when you're feeling a little bit, depleted. And it's going to happen. Don't stress out. You're not weird. It's not that you're not a good leader. Every single leader goes through this. And it's funny because I watch these leaders and sometimes you look at them, you're like, they're superhuman. I don't even know how they're doing this. They all have these moments. Self-doubt creeps into everyone. We're human beings, guys. Social media is a highlight reel. Remember, don't compare yourself to others either because you're just going to get caught up. It's really easy in this game when you guys are coming up so fast. You have large teams. You're really doing a lot. There's a lot of accolades. So I just really want to encourage you. Don't get down if it's a season where, wow, I hit XYZ and now I haven't hit anything in a month. That's okay. That's okay. It's not always going to happen, but staying consistent in your habits and your daily life is going to save you too. So the next thing I want to talk about, and this is big to me, maintaining belief, maintaining consistency is all about habits because your belief isn't going to waver if you're not wavering in your daily stuff. Okay. And one of the biggest habits, and it seems silly, I know you've read probably books, you've heard people say it, is make your bed every day. Okay. I went through a really big shift. When I came into my company I'm in now, I had a big lawsuit. Okay. I left a company that I built. I was one of the top female earners for 5-6 years and I was fried. I fried myself and my family had to come first. And so I had to move into a company that was a little bit more aligned for me. I knew it was going to be tough. I was the face of the company and I went through a lawsuit and it was way bigger than I thought it would ever be. And it really affected me. And so I started to slip out of everything I had used to do. I mean, I was like this. Every day was the same. And to get back to it, it literally started with making my bed. I'm like, I wasn't getting out of pajamas, guys, for days. I was so sad and stressed and trying to run a massive team and not show that I was stressed. You know what I mean? Like, how do you do that? I was balancing all these things. The good thing is that I got back into my habits and every day that I woke up, I knew exactly what I had to do, even if it was just make my bed. And for first 2 weeks, I literally just made my bed, brushed my teeth and made sure I was present and fed my animals. Okay. I do have kids. I have 3 kids, busy life. Thank God my husband at the time was like helping me because it was very stressful. But the compound effect is doing small things consistently over time creates massive results, right? And so it's so simple, but we can lose it so quick. I want to challenge you after this is to write down what your daily life is. I want you to, and most important, what's your first 3 hours of the morning look like? and be honest. And I'm not going to ask you what they are, and no one's going to ask you, but I'm going to have you inventory yourself. And it will shock you a little bit. Sometimes people are like, wow, I'm really good at my habits. And sometimes people are like, oh, I don't think I have any. And I'm like, that's okay. Good news. You can start tomorrow. But it's a thing that you build on. Like, by the time I got back in my routine, the first 3 hours of my day, I was done with my day. That's how good I got at my habits. Making my bed, getting dressed, working out, no social media. I'm a big one on this. No social media for the first hour. You got to get up. This has to be right, because there's no way you can jump on social media and feel good. There is garbage on there. There's great stuff on there too, but you can turn your phone on and go, oh God, or somebody's having an issue. It's 6 a.m. Is that what you want to read the first thing you wake up? It's going to ruin your day, right? Don't look at it. Shut your alarm off. Get a motivational, devotional, whatever you do, move your body. I don't care if you work out. I don't care if you lift weights. That's not the point. Moving your body helps reset your hormones. Okay. This is big time. Reset your hormones, it gets you moving, your brain's working, you get some good energy and vibes in, and then you tackle team, day, whatever you need. Okay. This is really important, because when I was running my really multi-million-dollar business, I was not doing that. Okay. And I would wake up and instantly be like stressed out from 6 to 7 o'clock. And I'd be like, I wouldn't even get out of my pajamas till noon. Cool, we work from home, but that's not a good feeling, because I just felt scattered, right? So when I started mastering those habits, my whole world changed. My kids saw a happier mom. I was able to do whatever I wanted. I'm like, noon, already done. Took care of emails, took care of calls, posted in the team, did my daily post, already followed up with 5 to 10 people, reached out to 5 to 10 people. I mean, I did everything. And then everything else was a bonus. If somebody messaged me, if I was, having conversations, building relationships, it was just a bonus, guys. You can do that, and you can get so good. Like, I listen to people like Tony Robbins, and I listen to their habits. They're mind blowing, by the way. They're reading a book. They've got everything done by 7 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes these people get up at 4 a.m. They're doing all of it. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to get up at 4, but 5:30 or 6 is okay. Whatever your time is, there's no judgments. Some people like to sleep till 8. Go ahead. You work from home, right? You work from home. You don't have to. If you have kids, it's different. My kids are growing up now, so I don't have to worry about them as much, but we have a busy household. Okay. But mastering your habit is going to also increase your confidence, because how good does it feel when you're like, I just nailed my day and it's 10 a.m. You feel good about yourself. You accomplished something. And to have belief, you need to have confidence. And to have confidence, you need to be consistent in your habits. And these things are so crucial. And it might seem simple. Like, sometimes I talk about this, I'm like, that seems so simple, but it's really something that a lot of people know but don't implement. And when they look at it, when you write it down, you're like, yeah, I could really improve my 9 to 10. Like, what am I doing in this part of the day? Am I scrolling? Is that benefiting you at all? Find the things that are not money-making activities in the beginning of your day. Okay. I'm telling you, if you master your morning, you master your life. You really do. All the top billionaires in the world, when they say what they do, their mornings are like pristine. Why did Steve Jobs wear the same clothes all the time? It was one less thing to think about. He wore the same outfit all the time because he didn't want to think about stuff that didn't matter. It's like, that's how honed in these people get. I'm not expecting you guys to do that, but you know what I mean? Like, when I think about that, I'm like, oh, I mean, that's kind of cool. I guess I do live in yoga pants every day and a t-shirt, but at the same time, it's like, I get it. I get why these people do it, because they have so many other things to deal with. They have massive people that they have to deal with every single day. And it's like, you want to be able to handle what's most important and prioritize. So find what's most important to you. Is exercise very important? Is getting your supplement? Oh, school uniforms. I'm all about school uniforms. I'm serious. I'm reading this because it's easier for the parent too. Okay. Because I don't want to think about what my kid's wearing. And when they were little, I was like, oh my gosh, just get dressed and pray to God it matches. And, it's like, let's just get through the day. That's how I was with my kids. So, but yeah, when you master these habits and when you prioritize what you need. So think about it. Do you need to have, like, maybe YouTube is your jam? I love YouTubes for motivationals. Maybe it's reading from the Bible, or maybe you have devotionals. Maybe it's, whoever inspires you, but take that time to grow your mind for the day and really set the pace of the day. And I notice when I slack and I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to walk today. So every day, guys, I do a walk. It's important to me. I just get up, I walk, fasted cardio. It's my thing. Um, but just doing that, I know if I got my walk in, I'm good. Like if I can't get to the workout for some reason, something happens, chaos happens, I got my walk in. I moved my body. I reset my hormones. I got myself moving. I listen to Abraham Hicks a lot, and then I do a lot of motivationals on YouTube. Like I have certain people I listen to a lot. And it's because they inspire me and they open up my mind and I feel encouraged by it. But at the same time, like that is really important to me. Listening to devotionals, motivationals is really important to me. And no social media is really important to me because sometimes I can get overwhelmed instantly by social media. And I don't want to feel that way. So I make sure that my habits are designed around my needs and the most important. So categorize what you need, even if it's something you're like, gosh, I usually do that at night. What is the most important thing that helps you feel successful, that helps you feel accomplished, and what helps you feel like you are being productive for the day? You need to get it to the point where your first half of the day is done. Make your bed. And I say it all the time and I laugh. I'm like, make your bed. I don't care. Make it. The other thing, and I'll kind of close with this, and Glenn, you can open up any questions too, because I have more to say, but we can go into any area you guys want. I want to know what you need. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Minus your team. Okay. Who do you speak to daily, and who are you surrounding yourself with? And what environments are you in? Because a lot of the times we can be in this community and we feel just amazing, right? We love the leadership, we love the community, we love the family that we've created, but we can walk out of it and be surrounded by some things, right? Bad environments. That doesn't mean you're trying to be in a bad environment, but looking at who you spend the most time with, looking at areas that might need to be cut out sometimes to keep you feeling good. Okay. And I used to do this a lot, I would make exceptions for negativity because it was my mother or, and I had to put some boundaries up. I'm like, just because we're family doesn't mean I have to deal with this. And my mother is a wonderful woman, but there are things sometimes, and she'll wear me down very quickly. She can bring me right into a bad place. So I'm like, okay, I have to put a boundary up with you and I have to have a conversation with you because I can't be in a productive, great mode and then have you come in and talk about how terrible life is and the world's coming to an end, right? That's a bad environment, right? And we can be in groups or we can have things that we do and we make exceptions. So yeah, it's very common, guys. And it's usually family. The sad part is I'm not telling you to get rid of your family because that's not going to happen, right? But we got to put the boundaries up and you don't even have to tell them. Don't go and tell them. Just sometimes I'm not going to answer this person until my day is done. That's an example of a boundary. If it's somebody that you're not going to eliminate from your life, then you have to have an internal boundary that you go, no, I'm not doing this. Right. And you guys, let's be real. There are places and people that you should eliminate. I'm not going to tell you who, you know who it is. Times where you're like, I feel horrible every time I'm with this group of people or this person, or even being online, social media places. Like I'm in a community that I don't like the vibe. They're negative. All they do is talk like this. Eliminate it, guys. Eliminate it. This is your business. This is your livelihood. This is your life. Social media stuff is not important when it comes to that. So I've also done things like this. I have deleted a lot of accounts or places, people, even on social media where I'm like, I don't even like seeing this post. People who are constantly posting negativity or drama or controversy. I'm like, I don't want this. And that doesn't mean you have to openly be rude about it or make a comment about it. Just delete and block. Okay. And I know it's hard because sometimes people take things so personally. I've had to tell people, hey, this is just social media. I run my business here. I'm not on this to feel like crap every day and get involved in negative drama. I'm here to run a business and I can't with the kind of stuff you post. That doesn't mean I don't love you. It means you got my number. If they're that and close to you, message me, or we're good. It's social media, guys. And you have to take a stand in those areas and early on, because as you're growing in your business, you're going to see things as a leader as you get bigger. Every level's another devil. I say this to everybody. You don't think it's going to happen to you until you get there. Then you're like, what happened? What happened? I wasn't expecting that, or I thought that would never happen to me. And it's like, yeah, you're going to have hard conversations. The last part as I wrap up before Glenn, I can open it up to you, Glenn. You know, just be your authentic self and stick to your guns. One of the things that I really look back on and I've worked on is not being soft in the right areas, because you have to be the leader and you can't waver in your beliefs. So make sure you are solid in your beliefs. And it's easy to try to, sometimes we have big leaders that come in and we want to cater to them, and they are not the greatest, right? They have egos, or they start to be rude, or they're disruptive, or they are just plain not good for the community. And because they earn so much, or they're bringing in so much, we like go like this, right? You can't. You bring in the wrong person, the entire community can go away. One person. That's how serious that is. So remember to stick to your guns, and don't be afraid to have hard conversations. Because the more you avoid the conversation, and polite conversations, they don't have to be negative, but the longer you avoid it, the bigger it's going to blow up. Handle it fast, any conflict. And it doesn't mean you have to be a cop. There's a limit here. You don't have to be the police of everybody. But when there's an issue that could affect multiple people or the team, you do. Having a nice private conversation. Hey, what's going on? How can I help you? Something seems to be bothering you. You seem upset. Can we talk about it? Or if they come at you and whatever, but also remember to hold your respect for yourself too, because sometimes people will walk all over you because they think they have the upper hand, and it's okay. Sometimes we get lost in things, and we've all done it, but it's like, okay, handle the conflicts very quickly, swiftly, and politely. And if it gets to a point where you're like, you know what, you might have to walk away from people. But these things happen too in teams, and it's okay. But have the conversations. Do not be a person who's like, oh, I'm just going to let that slide. You know, they brought in a couple people last month and they're really growing. No, that's the time to talk to them. Hey, I see you're growing. You got mass momentum, but I want to address something with you because I'm noticing it, and I really don't want it to affect your community, your team, because it's starting to affect everyone else. You got to be honest. You got to be honest. And this is years of me dealing with things good, bad, and ugly. And I always find that the best outcome, no matter how hard it is, and guys, I've had people publicly trash me before because they're angry about something and it's like not even my fault. But sometimes to lay your head down at night, you guys, this is as a leader, do the right thing always and have the conversation so you know you did it. And it's important, and they'll respect you for it. They will, even if it sucks. All right, that's what I got. Glenn, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about? Anything closing? I mean, I think this is great. I love it. I love the vibe of this crew already. I do.
Man, you covered a lot of great points. And honestly, I feel, especially like mastering the morning,
Yeah.
that I was like deleting TikTok, or that's weird. I see myself. Hold on a second. Okay, so anyways, I was getting up and scrolling on TikTok,
Mhm.
and I wasn't getting a lot done in my business. I was scrolling the Ukraine war with Russia, and then said pop up in my FYP. I would see what's going, like just all these things, and you'll be watching one video and just get sucked into it for like 2 hours.
Mhm.
And so I deleted my TikTok, and I've been getting all my stuff done by 10 o'clock, what would take me till 4 or 5 in the day, because I was an idiot getting up and getting on social media. And then I would rush my gym time. I would want to go to the gym for an hour, but since I was on TikTok, I could only go for 30 minutes. So
Mm.
I think that's one of the best tips that, that there is out there for sure. Getting up and I used to get up and make my bed in the morning and you feel accomplished.
Yeah.
Do something that makes you feel accomplished. So that's something I'm going to start incorporating. I also love how you said confront problems before they get too big. A lot of times we're too scared to talk to people, but that's one of the most important things in being a leader in our entire business. But like you said, do it respectful. You want to keep those people around, but if you let them know that you understand too where they're coming from, then then they won't feel like they're being threatened or attacked. So I think all those are great points, and I know our team learned a lot from that. Guys, put in the chat if you have any questions for Shylo. Like she said, she's been in the industry for 15 years. She's had a lot of success. She knows how to lead a team. She knows how to recruit. She knows how to deal with things. But while people are typing in the chat, Shylo, maybe just give a couple of your top recruiting tips while they
Yes.
type something in the chat.
So with recruiting, it's like the dirty word, right? A lot of people are like, don't say recruiting. I don't want to recruit. It's like, well, you do that anyways with customers. You're recruiting customers. I always laugh. I'm like, it's the same thing. It's just different conversation. So a lot of the times it's a fear of the word recruiting, or you think you have to do something different. This is a leadership training, so I know that you understand. But at the same time, consistency in recruiting is huge. And it's easy to get sidetracked, especially when your team's growing, because you could be all over the place, right? And you're like, wait, I got to recruit today. So I always do a general rule of 5 to 10 reach outs a day, just starting conversations or continuing conversations. Because remember, this is a relationship building business. This isn't, I'm going to pitch you instantly and you're going to buy my product with the link that I sent you. It's like, no, you got to take some time, because when you're recruiting, you need to have trust, because they're buying you, then they buy your product, and then they buy your business. Okay. And sometimes they buy your business before the product because they freaking love you. They watch you, they see your energy. And it's so important. Talk about balance as a leader. Oh yeah. Balance and burnout. I totally get it. So with the habits and the consistency. So with balance, you have to put up boundaries, right? I used to push my kids away, for God's sakes. This was in a previous company for years. I was like, mom's on the phone. I would be in the closet. I was doing 3-way calls every day from 7 a.m. This is crazy. 7 a.m., sometimes 11, 12 at night. And I do it all again. Thanksgiving dinners, in the car, on the phone, doing calls. Like, it was wild. And I was sacrificing my entire family. And I always say this in a nutshell: never sacrifice what you're working for. Like, I wanted family and freedom, but I was zero of that. I had no freedom. I had handcuffs, and my family didn't even want to talk to me. My kids were like, mom's not going to answer. She's always on the phone. That was horrible to me. And I was like, I can't work so hard that I have nothing left when I look up. Like, how, and that can happen really easy. So balance is finding the habits that fulfill you and fill you up. Taking that time in the morning to be your time, not answering team messages instantly when you wake up, not being at everyone's beck and call. You're the leader. You determine your schedule. You determine when you start your day. Now, I'd recommend you start it before 1 in the afternoon, but whatever. What I'm saying is this is where all that comes in. Having a great morning, having great habits, building the belief in yourself, building your confidence, your consistency, making sure that you have your community and culture intact, but also setting the boundaries with your team. I'm not answering you until at least 10 a.m. Maybe you set the time as 10 a.m. 10 a.m. guarantees me I get my workout, I make my bed, I get my devotional in, I get the kids off to school, I do what I need to do, and 10 o'clock is when I pick up my phone and I start messaging like a crazy lady. Totally fine. Maybe it's 9 o'clock. Whatever it is, just know that you set the pace. And it's sometimes what happens as leaders is we allow the team to set the pace and we get fried. Because if they think, if you're the only one, the buck stops here, right? But they're like, I need you for this, I need you for this, I need you for that, I need you for that. You're not teaching leadership, you're teaching a dictatorship, right? Teach them how to do it. So don't be afraid to pass the buck, saying, hey, Glenn, you're really good at creating graphics, let's just say. Can you create the graphics for this week? I have to focus over here. Delegate, guys. That's your job. That's leadership. Not a leader can't do it all. And what I see leaders doing, and they fry, is they're trying to be everyone for everything, and you can't. No matter how amazing you are. I know amazing leaders. I've worked with some of the best in the industry and still do. I'm very good friends with some of the best, and none of them do all of it. Some of the best leaders, the billionaires, guys, the guys that you never hear of, but they're in the back of the room, they delegate. They don't deal with the stuff we do. Like they're over here with massive moves, and their focus is all relationships. They've got some of the best relationships. So always remember this. When you get really lost and confused, or when the noise is too loud, go back to building the relationships and keeping your community happy. Don't worry about social media sometimes. Yes, it's important, but don't get wrapped up in it too much. Back to recruiting at the end, like to wrap this up with recruiting, is it's really about building all that consistency in your daily habits. That's going to get you to be a better recruiter, because you're going to get into your messages every day and go, okay, did I do my 5 to 10 reach outs? Did I do my 5 to 10 follow-ups? Did I, do something that grew my business today? Did I do a post that grew my business, or is it a product day? I generally say the rules are post a product once a week to twice a week. Stories, blast them, spam your stories, but posts one a week, and a business one a week. Stories can be for anything. Seriously. It's like the Wild West in stories. And I love that. That's how I used to roll when I first got on social media. I'm like, oh, this is so easy. I can do whatever I want. The posts were terrible, but people would see them. Now we have to like really try, and there's algorithms. So we have to be mindful and put value in our things, right? But guys, have fun in your stories, and just know that people want to see you, and make it about lifestyle and make it about freedom. What are you doing this for? Don't forget that, because we can get caught up in awards and accolades. People outside of you don't know what that means. They don't know what gold epic leader means, right? They know, okay, what is that? You need to say, I just hit a major milestone. I hit a goal, and it's providing my family with a trip to Disney. That's incredible. As long as you don't say the company name and do anything like that, I think you can get away with that. You know what I mean? Like, we always have to watch FTC rules too. But guys, that's what people want to know. They want to know, how are you doing all this? How are you traveling? How are you doing this? Well, I work from home. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I don't have to get up and get dressed every day and look perfect to go to a job. I get to come here. I get to be in sweatpants on the bottom and do a leadership training. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the best. And we have to remember that that's why we're doing it. I hated Sundays, guys. Sundays were my least favorite days. I was like, I hate Sunday, because I know I have to get up in the morning, get the kids off to school at 5, 6 o'clock. I had to run them up to daycare, one of them up to daycare, all the way 45 minutes away, come all the way back in, and go to work till 5. And I never, ever forget the feeling of Sundays. I hated them. I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And that's really what we're doing it for, is to be able to have a very flexible life, to do what we want to do, whether it be travel, or if it's saving money, if it's an extra vacation, whatever it is you're doing this for, just remember that. And that's where your balance comes in too. Set the boundaries, get your habits mastered, and you guys will have a really great business, as you already do, and you'll be able to maintain it through growth, through challenges, whatever happens. That's really it.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I love what you said earlier. What I was taught a long time ago is whoever has the most conversations will win. So, I mean, every single day, like you said, I'm going through my stories. I'm looking at memories from years ago. And I'm just asking, hey, what have you been up to? What's going on? And they'll tell you like, hey, I just quit my last company. Like, people tell you what's going on in their life. So I just have a lot of conversations. Then they're going to ask you, hey, what are you doing? And then I can tell it. But you're exactly right. It's about relationships. It's not about, ooh, let me send 50 scripts out today and see what happens.
Yeah, we don't talk. You know me, not a script person. Scripts are valuable for like when you're running a massive promo and you got to copy paste, and it's the same thing, different. Not when you're building relationships, people will smell it from a mile away. Great question, Jenny. How would you reach out to a friend currently in the industry with another company, but to be courteous? I love that you said to be courteous, because what happens a lot is, I know Glenn gets approached, I get approached, and I don't mind getting approached, but I do mind getting approached in an ignorant way. And when I say that, they don't even know what they're talking about, and they're like, yeah, you should come over, you can make $50,000 in the first, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. First of all, I don't even know you. I have a massive team and I need to build a relationship. So if you want to know how to approach somebody in a business, start to build a relationship without even mentioning that. Say, I've been following you for a long time, have a lot of respect for you. Most likely you do if you're reaching out to them, right? You want them on your team. So you must know that you must want to respect them. The one thing about recruiting is, don't just recruit because somebody looks good and you have no idea who they are. You have no idea if they're a good person. Rank doesn't make you a good person. Okay. Rank doesn't mean they're going to fit into your team automatically. And social media can be very deceiving. There's a lot of people that call themselves top leaders. This isn't mean, but they're not. And a top leader to them might be XYZ, but a top leader over here okay, so certain companies have been around for years. Okay. And there are people making, and I'll say the numbers so you have a little goal, $1 million a month. That's a lot of money. There's people making $1 million a month all over in this industry. So when you approach someone like that, they have a legacy team. They have a team that's probably been there for 10, 15 years. Be mindful of that, respect it, but also say, you have been somebody I've respected, I've been watching, I just absolutely would love to partner one day with you, however that looks. I'm not asking you to join me right now or anything, but I just really love the connection, and I'm enjoying following your journey. And even go out and say, what is your story, by the way? Great way to ask a top leader, who are they? Find out who they are, guys. Not everyone is going to be great for your team. I'm going to tell you that right now. I've talked to leaders, and after the end of the conversation, doesn't mean they're a bad person. I'm like, this isn't going to work. They would never fit in a team. I had to tell a guy that one time. He talked and talked and talked, and I will tell you, at the end of the conversation, I said, I don't think you're a good fit. He was upset with me because he was really aggressive, and that's why he didn't fit. I'm like, I can't have you in our team. You will crumble this team so fast with your whole vibe. It was just never going to work. Guys, I've had to turn people away. I don't have a problem with it. He was apparently a top leader in 2 companies, but the way he spoke, the way he talked to me, he was degrading in ways. He didn't even know he was doing it, though, guys and gals. He didn't even know. So I'm like, this isn't going to work because you're not understanding the level that you're coming into with our crew. They won't accept that. And I'm going to be battling leaders wanting to leave because you're here. It's not worth it. Like, I can't do that. And so be mindful, ask them their story. Okay. Say, can you share? Are you willing to share your story? Or do you have it written down? Don't necessarily make them tap dance for you. Go, do you have your story written anywhere? Or could I hear it? Because I'm really excited. I've been following you for a little while, and I'd really love to know what you've done. And people love that. Okay, guys, they love when you approach them like that. And I'm not mean to people unless they're off-putting to me. And usually I'll be like, hey, I've been in the industry a long time. I'm not ready to get sued to leave my company. And I don't even think you know who I am. So why would you ask me to be in your team when you've never met me once? Think about that. If you're going to approach someone you've never met and they're a large leader, why would they take an entire team into your company if they don't even know you? They've never even seen you. So that's why I don't like cold messaging big leaders. When you cold message, it's more of icebreakers. So remember that when you're recruiting, it's an icebreaker. It's not, we're not getting married today. Okay. You're not starting a conversation and going, hey, you ready to get married? Let's go to Vegas today. You don't know me, but I bet you we'll make a great pair. No, you don't do that. So think about it. It's the same as business. You do have to take a little bit of time. With leaders, you're going to have to take a lot of time. That's just the reality. You're going to have to take a lot of time. They got to trust you. They got to know you. They got to feel good about you. And then you got to both align. The best thing to do is not be afraid to break the ice with people, Have great conversations without pitching them. They'll respect it and they're going to watch you and follow you and come back and go, what are you doing? It's not hard, guys. You just have to be patient. And like I said, with bigger leaders, you're going to have to take your time, but the time is worth it. And even if they never join your team, having someone, a colleague outside of your business that you can go to, everything in this business. Some of my best colleagues are not in my business, my company at all. It's people I met outside that have been so supportive, that I've supported, they've supported me, but they're not in my business. That's the best. Or even see if you could collaborate with them on something. That's also a good idea. Like, hey, would you be willing to do a leadership training for my team? Or would you be willing to do this? See what you guys can do for each other. You'll learn. It's really good. It's really good. And don't be afraid of the recruiting. It's so much fun. It's fun to get to know people, guys. It's really, especially when you're behind the computer, you're not in front of them. They just have fun. Be you and let them see that. And if they like you, they're going to keep talking to you. Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you talk about the importance of not just recruiting up, peer to peer? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, going diamond and things like that. Remember, guys, find out people's goal, find out people's drivers. A lot of the times we will assume somebody is so successful and doing well. And you might, like with me, when I came in this industry, everyone thought we were fine. No one knew we were drowning because you don't advertise that. Hi guys, we're drowning in debt. My husband just lost his business. He's embarrassed. He's got to sue his employer just to get his last check. It was his whole life. I mean, he still sometimes is recovering from that, and it's hard. And it's like, that was everything. Our whole life changed in a minute. No one advertises that. So find out more. Just say, hey, what would you like to do with this business? Student loans, right? Maybe someone's like, hey, I'm going through a divorce, or hey, I just found out I was pregnant. It was unexpected. I need more income. I'm stressed. I'm not going to be able to leave the house. You don't know. It's honestly, most people, when they start, are looking for $500 extra a month. You want to know why they're looking for that? Because they can believe it and see it. They don't know what diamond means. And if you're like, oh, you could make 20 grand a month. Yeah, most people come in not thinking about that. They're like, yeah, I would love that. But let's be realistic. What can I make tonight? What can I make this week? What can I make this month? Remember that. And don't assume everyone's like that either. We have to just don't put your goals on other people. Have conversations. That's the best way to know where to navigate with people, because sometimes we'll be so excited. We think somebody wants to run for the gusto, like the top rank. And they're like, Shylo, all I want to do is make a little bit of extra money and hang out. They're good. And it might be a great leader. And you're like, what? And they're like, no, I'm not in it. Some people are like, I need to change my life. I need to stay home. Okay, well, then you're going to have to do X, Y, Z, and be honest with them about what they need to do. Don't sugarcoat that, because you got to make sure that people understand what's necessary to be at the level they want to be. Because I've seen really good leaders come in, and I'm sure Glenn's seen it several times. They come in like a bat out of hell. They're great. And you're like, this person's on fire. And they might hit some of the top ranks and they'll disappear. And you're like, what just happened? Couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle the stress. They're like, I didn't want to be a leader. I just wanted to build a community and like hang out. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, well, we have a team here. And that's something that needed to be discussed. Sometimes we get caught up. So just have those conversations, and don't be afraid to reach out to your leaders who are currently in and see how they're doing. Hey, how are you feeling? Where do you want to go this month? They might not want to push, and that's okay. Don't push them out the door. Remember that. It's more importantly to maintain a balance with your team and know that, hey, this person is not on that mission right now, and I'm not going to push them. I'll dig down. I'll work with their team, taproot in their team, kind of dig in, find the leaders that need help, and that's it. That's your job. Oh yeah. People will do that. I mean, I've seen people walk away from $10,000 a month checks, and it's because they're so overwhelmed. I get it. I know it seems crazy sometimes because you're like, what? But when life is happening and we don't know everything in people's worlds, this is part of it. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know the stress of home and the pressures and kids and sickness. We just don't know. And sometimes they're not ready for a leadership role. They came in to be led. Remember that too. Some people just want to be led. That's okay too. It's actually good to know. So these are just things that you can ask in the beginning. Ask the questions. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Because at the end of it, it's going to benefit both of you if you both know each other's goals and expectations and what they need. And you know, as a leader, you can express, you know, oh, okay, if you want to just reach out to me once a week, that would help me, so I don't feel like we're not communicating. It's just really about more conversations, like Glenn said. The more, oh God, never assume. Yes. Assumptions, ass out of you and me, right? Assumptions. Like, I've made so many mistakes because I've assumed something, and then people get mad because I assume it, and I'm like, oh, there it goes. Now I'm pissing everybody off. It's like, yeah, better not to assume, just ask a question. This is a good crew. This is a good crew, guys. I'm really grateful and honored that you had me on. It's honestly amazing. I'm really, really happy watching you guys, because I do watch, and seeing all the accolades and all the movement and the growth, and just to watch the leaders that I do know, watching them evolve as leaders too has been really fun. I will come back. I love it. I love it. Thanks for having me on, guys. Thank you.
Shylo, thank you very much. We appreciate this. Like, we all learned a ton and we're excited. And thank you for volunteering your time. You didn't have to do this. We appreciate you so much. If you ever need me for anything, I'm here. Just let me know.
I love it. I absolutely love it. This made my night. Now I'm in my sweatpants. I'm gonna go hang out with my kids and watch a movie. That's the life. But I respect and love all of you. Thank you. I would love to come back anytime. Anytime, guys.
Thank you, Shylo.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.